Hi everyone, I am back with another video. This one is the tutorial for making this little wallet style mini album. So I'm going to show you how I made this. So what you're going to need is 3 pieces of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. You could use 12 by 12 for sure. I just tend to buy 8.5 by 11s, so that's what I have on hand. And it took 3 sheets with a little bit left over. A couple slivers and then half a sheet from one. So, I'm actually using just Black Recollections cardstock. And I'm also using this My Mind's Eye Cupid's Arrow number 14 paper kit that I got. If I can get it in the camera for you. At the Scrapbook Expo last year. So that's what I'm using for mine. This is just the sticker sheet that I have out. So I've already pre-cut my papers and I have already matted some of them to save time, but I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're going to need 4 pieces of cardstock. And your first one is going to be cut at 8.5 by 10. And on your 10-inch side, zoom out just a tad so you guys can see. On your 10-inch side, you're going to score at 3, 3.5, 6 3/4, and 7 1/4. Then you're going to turn, and on your 8.5-inch side, you're going to score at 1 3/4 and 6 3/4. So then you should have score lines like that. Okay, now you're going to need 2 pieces that measure 3 1/4 by 10. These are going to make the little accordion flaps that will come out. So these you're going to score at 2.5, 5, and 7.5. Is that right? Yeah. And you'll do this twice. So 2.5, 5, and 7.5. Okay, and then your last piece is going to be 5.5 by 4 7/8. And that's not 5.5 by 4 7/8. That is 5 1/4. So I'm going to recut a piece. Let's see. 5.5 by 4 7/8. Okay, now we have the right size. So on your 5.5-inch side, you're going to score this, and this is all personal taste. So if you don't like this, you can adjust where you score this. There's only one score mark on this sheet, and it is at 2 7/8. And that's because that's just where I liked it. So like I said, if you don't want it there, you can move it. So this is just going to make like the little faux checkbook type piece inside the wallet. That's what I'm calling it, a faux checkbook. Okay, so that's all of our scoring. So we're going to set these 3 pieces aside and we're going to work with our base. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut out each one of these rectangles, including this little score mark here. So you're going to cut up to the second score line and down. So you're going to remove all 4 of them. I'm going to go ahead and fold on my score lines first, just so it'll be easier to fold up later. Okay, so now we're going to start cutting. And I cut just right outside this score line here, so it folds in really nice. And then just on the opposite side of this one. So we're going to do all 4 rectangles. And this will be the base of our wallet. So these flaps that are going to be on the side are actually going to be just slightly smaller than 3 1/4 inches. Since we're cutting away that score line, it's not quite 3 1/4 now. Okay, so there's that. That is not very straight right there. There we go. Okay, so here is the base of our wallet. And you want to make sure that your larger flap is on the bottom. So I'm going to measure these. That one is 2 3/4, and that one is almost 3. Okay, so I have it in the right direction. So when it folds up, you want your larger flap on the bottom because that's where we're going to put our little faux checkbook. And that's going to be this piece here that we scored at 2 7/8. So you're just going to fold it in half. And then I have probably 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch showing just so I could see the paper underneath. So like I said, you can adjust this piece however you want. So that's going to go down here. I'm going to go ahead and round my corners. I'm just using a small EK Success corner rounder. I got this in a 2-pack. It's got a 1.5 inch at Target for like 9 something. So I'm going to go ahead and just round my corners. I'm not going to do my accordion flaps though, because I don't have a way to round all the corners on that, so I'm just going to leave it. Okay, and I'm going to measure again to make sure that my bottom piece is on the bottom. Okay, so what you'll do with this is if you round your corners, you'll go ahead and round these 2 corners and these 2 corners, which I have already pre-done, and I have it right here. So the papers for this are going to be, this top piece is going to be 4 3/4 by 2 1/2, and the same with your inside piece, 4 3/4 by 2 1/2, and then your base bottom piece is going to be 4 3/4 by 2 3/4. So you're just going to take this, I've already put some score tape on it, and you're just going to attach it straight to the bottom. So I'm going to do that after I get my other papers on. So this is the little faux checkbook. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the outside. I'm just going to flip my album over. So I know this is my top flap. And my paper for this measures 4 7/8 by 2 5/8, and I've already rounded my corners. So I'm just going to attach that there. Just using ATG tape, hoping I don't run out. It's kind of low. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this to the front. So just like that. And then my back piece, I'm going to stick down, but I'm actually going to do it upside down so it's in the right direction. So if you have a directional pattern, you need to pay attention to how you are adhering these front pieces, or these outside cover pieces. And this one measures 4 7/8 by 3 1/8. And then I have my bottom flap, which I will also adhere upside down. And I've already rounded the corners on this one. And this one is 4 7/8 by 2 7/8. So we'll just go ahead and attach this one here. So when it folds up, the hearts are facing the right direction. Okay, so there we have the outside of the wallet. And now we're going to do the inside. And I've already pre-cut those. And this piece is the same as your outside flap, so it's 4 7/8 by 2 5/8. And I've already rounded the corners on this one. So we'll just attach this to the inside. So just like that, and then I have my middle piece, which is 4 7/8 by 3 1/8. So the same as your back panel for the outside of your wallet will be the inside also. So we just stick this right in the center, like that. And we will go ahead and attach our little faux checkbook. Okay, now I have cut this slightly smaller than my inside, so it's easier to fold up. So that's why you'll see just a slight little border with the black cardstock. So that's why I do that way. Okay, so now we're going to work on our little flaps. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your accordion pieces that you have already scored, and you're just going to fold back and forth. One forward, one backward. So just like this, and these are going to become your little accordion pullouts. Just like that. So you'll adhere all your papers on here, minus the inside, because that's where we're going to attach it. So I have already done that to save time. So I have both my pieces here. And now I'm just going to show you how to attach these. So what I do is I didn't put any paper on this flap here. So when the accordion pulls out, this one is blank because this is where I'm going to attach it to the book. Right here. And that way when it pulls out, it'll be attached like this, and then I'll go ahead and put that piece on there. So I'm going to go ahead and put my score tape right on this flap here. So probably about 3 strips, just to make sure that this is going to stay, and I'm not putting it all the way to the edge. I'm going to leave a little bit of room, so you don't want to attach your piece all the way to the edge. So you're just going to kind of line it up. And when I cut my cardstock, this is this is my 10-inch strip, but when I cut it slightly smaller than 3 1/4, so it would fold in really nice and not get caught on these corners here going in. So measurements are just, you know, a base to start with, and then you just kind of adjust it as you go. So I'm going to take my blank one, and I'm going to try to attach this in a way that you can see and I can see. Okay, so I'm going to line it up. I keep sticking to the tape. Line it up so it's not going over the edge, and then it's kind of centered. So there's one side. So let's go ahead and do this side. And then we can attach the papers. Oops, a little too close to the edge there. Okay. And I'm just using 1/4-inch score tape for this. On my little faux checkbook, I used 1/2 inch. Just since it was a bigger area. Fold those in. Okay, so I'm going to take, again, my piece that I don't have anything on, and attach it. Try to get it centered. Okay, so there we have our little pieces, and what I have discovered is they do kind of overlap a little. They don't lay flush side by side, but I'm okay with that, so it doesn't bother me. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this piece here, and then you will never know that there's a seam on that. So we'll just attach these two. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you don't want to put a lot of bulky embellishments in here. It's basically just meant for photos and little journal things or whatever you want to do. So I do not put any embellishments on the inside of this. It's going to make it thicker if you do. And you want to leave room for your photos on top of all these mats. So you're pretty much getting, you know, you've got 2 thicknesses of cardstock here, and then when you put photos, you're going to add another thickness from the photo. So I don't put embellishments on the inside. So that'll fold in, this will go up, this will go down, and there's the wallet. So I'm going to make a belly band. I made one, and I thought it was going to be too big, but it may not. Once you put pictures in there, it's going to tighten up this band. So that's how I close mine. Like I said in my project share, I want to get some more of the little basic gray magnets because I think the magnets would be really cute. Put a little button over the top, you know, something like that. So I like to leave the center open for just a big photo. You can probably fit, I would say a 3, well, 3's pushing it. Yeah, you could cut down a 3x5 to about 2 3/4, by like 4 3/4 if you want, and it would be really cute to put right there. And then, like I said, you can put, you can use these little accordion folds for some little photos. I liked having these cute little pieces that I cut from paper. Let me grab it. It has a sheet in here that had all kinds of little little cards on them. I don't know what size they were. Let's see if I can grab one. It was part of the sheet, just to show you. So it had all these little things, and I thought, well, I'm just going to cut some of them off. And some of them obviously wouldn't fit because they were too wide for what I needed these little flaps for. So I just cut some of those. So these little paper kits are great for these little things too, making these little wallets. So not just the waterfall folios, but you can make these cute little wallets. And so my belly band, I think I'm going to go ahead and decorate it. I was just going to use some of these stickers. Whoops. But now I'm not sure which ones I want to use. So this is the hard part. I mean, you just have to really kind of basically, you know, just kind of dress up your belly band if you want. If you're using a magnet right here, you don't really have to do much. So I'm not going to do it because I don't know what I want to do and I don't want to take too much time on camera trying to figure it out. So I will post pictures of my finished book on my Facebook page. So if you don't follow me on Facebook, you can hit the link. It's on my main channel page, and there's a little square that has the F on it for Facebook. You can come find me there. I post a lot of projects on Facebook that I don't always necessarily do a video for. I'll just make something and just post it. I don't always do the tutorials for everything. The majority of them I try. So that's it. That's basically how you make a little wallet style mini album in the size that I like. This is 5 by 3 1/4. So I hope you guys like this, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.